All right, let's see what we got here. What up, gang?
Yo,
We live. Just gonna make sure that the audio and stuff's going. We got the AC. I guess the AC will be okay.
Sure, it'll be fine. Yeah.
But yo, thanks for joining us. If you're joining us, if you're catching the replay,
Welcome to the replay.
yeah, heck yeah. We're just gonna be doing a Q&A today. Boop boop. Hanging 10. Just gonna make sure the audio's doing all right. I'm gonna have a chance to check this out prior. But yeah, if you're watching the replay, you can always do the 2x to zoom through it if you want to get through it a little bit quicker. And yeah, how you been doing, Jay?
I'm doing all right. Busy as all hell, but
I hear you, man.
seems like it doesn't ever stop.
Yo, what's going on, guys? We're just getting this set up. Let's see. Let me get the chat popped out. Hey, Nady, what's going on? Nady and Greg, Nady and I.
Where is?
I've been feeling those those webisodes, guys. Good stuff. You guys should check out Nady and I Productions. They have like a funny. Oh, Greg, what's up, man? My buddy Greg is hanging out in the chat. He's been working on a web series. You guys should check it out. Just I guess it's that. I think you can just click on Nady. We're doing our thing. I like it, Greg. So, are you doing like one webisode a week then? Uh-oh.
I got no live chat.
Oh, weird. Huh. Okay, so the sound sounds alright.
Well,
Maybe we could leave the AC on. It's not too loud.
that's fucking weird. Why do I have no live chat?
Hey, what's up, Julian? Yeah, just click me. Yo, Dylan, what's up? Good to see you. It's been a long time. We got Coop stopping through. What's going on?
Sad, man.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for coming through, Coop. When's that comp coming out, by the way? When's the deadline to submit to that? Dylan's hanging out, and AD and I trying for that. Cool. Yeah.
I think I gotta.
It's getting tricky, but we have a bunch of ideas. Yeah, I would say just keep it going, Greg. Yo, J-Rad, what's going on? Capro's chilling, and yeah, man, I hope you have David says, hope it goes well and a productive night. Heck yeah, man.
There we go.
Sound Slingers, what up? Deadline is the end of tomorrow. Oh, man. All right. Did you submit anything to that?
What?
Coop's comp?
No, because he's looking mostly for people who recorded things to tape.
Oh, I thought you said it didn't matter.
Oh, I was under the impression that the stipulation had to be recorded on cassette.
Does it have to be on the cassette, Coop, for that? Nady and I is gonna do a Pro Sound Game Boy mod soon. I want to do a video. Yo, let's do it. Let's do it, Greg. I'm ready. We were gonna do some chiptune stuff too at one point, right? We could still do that. Let's do it, man. Collab up in
I
here.
got some pretty gnarly
Nice, J-Rad. What have you been up to,
mono
J-Rad?
synths, man.
Some what?
I said I got some nice mono synths if you need some.
Yeah?
Single knob noisemakers, man.
Heck yeah, that's
Never
sick.
saw those on my
Oh,
videos I posted on
I
those?
do. I think I have seen those. Yeah, I remember
All kinds
you.
of terrible sounds.
Because I think we were talking about that. Did you ever see that Korg? Or I think it was Korg. It was like mono synth, and it's like literally just like a ribbon synthesizer.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, they're like these little
No, but
mono synth or something. They're pretty cool, but it's like a true analog synth for like $50. It's pretty
50
interesting.
bucks.
Yeah, it might even be cheaper than that.
The ones that I made are this.
Oh, that's cool, man. Oh yeah, I remember seeing this. So it's like clipping the LED.
Nah, the LED is just part of the oscillator circuit.
Dude, I'll take one of those. That's fucking cool. Can we link that somehow?
I'm sure you
Korg
probably
Mono
can.
Tribe. That's right.
This
What's
is
up,
the other
Matt?
one. I fed it a 1K carrier tone and then modulated the other side of it. Oh, what the hell? My Instagram crashed. That's nice.
Weird.
What
Your
the
phone's
fuck
like
is it
tripping
doing?
out, man. Yo, Coop, check it. Catch you later, my friend. Hope you get a lot done tonight.
Later on, Coop.
David said, "I like the cables on your wall." Thanks. That was those are ones I use a lot, so I figured I better put them in a spot where I can get them easily.
Cable up.
I've been moving some stuff around, trying to get stuff. I don't know, just organized better. I feel like it's always. Do you do that in your studio at all, Jay? Or are you like constantly like reassessing and organizing stuff?
Not really.
You
I
kind of
don't
have it
generally
set
have
up.
time.
Yeah. I've been like just trying to keep my stuff a little more organized. Yo, that's cool, man. What are you playing with that? What are you playing with it right now?
What do you mean?
Like, how is it? Are you like
That
controlling
one
it?
pot that was in my hand?
Yo, yeah. Let's get a couple of those. You have a couple. You have a couple
There are two different ones.
prototypes. Yeah, man. Let's do it. Jay's just showing me his mono synths that he's been making. Those are fucking cool, man. Yo, that thing is awesome.
This is a while ago I made these.
Do you still have them chilling? Yeah. I like that one a lot.
This is a voltage controlled oscillator chip with a bunch of weird circuitry that I added to it.
That sounds cool.
It has a transformer in part of the line that you feed the carrier tone through if you're so inclined.
Yo, Joel, what's up, my friend? Joel from the UK is stopping in. He must be having a hard time sleeping over there. How you doing, Joel? Good to see you, man. Sounds like one of those 555 synths, but much, much cooler. I'm not familiar with those.
The 555 is a timer.
Oh, okay. So it's like modded.
No. That's the part number of the chip.
Oh, okay.
555. You use the 556 and make the Atari Punk console. I don't know if you ever saw one of those. It's like a 2-knob thing.
Cool.
I also have an 8 oscillator Schmidt trigger synth that I built. 6 knobs and a master volume. Actually, that first Surmiser record, it's got all those weird fucking noises.
On it, right?
The ones that go.
Oh yeah.
That's that
thing.
That's that thing.
That's like, don't you have like a whole noise board of all your stuff?
Yeah.
What is that on? Just like a big piece of wood?
It's on one of the drafting boards that they used to let you use in high school.
Oh, okay.
I brought mine home.
The grid. The grid.
No,
board.
it was like wooden and it's banded in aluminum around the outside.
Oh. I thought it was like one of those boards that has the big like drafting grid on it.
Nah, these were the ones that like in junior high they gave you and you'd like tape your card stock to it to do your technical drawing.
Oh, okay.
You lay it out with the square and shit. That's what this is though.
Like I'm keeping that.
When we went and did that, Tom and I went and did that hideout gig at My
Yeah,
Life in the Bush of Ghosts.
right.
That's this.
Remember you telling me about that?
That's
cool.
this thing.
Oh yeah.
And that thing with the bright white light in the corner, that's the 6 Schmidt trigger oscillator.
Yeah, that's fucking cool, man.
This was right before the cops came.
You guys were rocking it.
We were the loudest ones in the house. I wish I could pause that. That's the fucking noise board, see it?
Yeah.
So there's 2 Marsona sleep machines that are circuit bent. That thing in the middle is a Conair sleep machine that's circuit bent. There's 6 mono synth or mono oscillators.
Oh my gosh.
There's a phaser, a central mixer, and a polychorus on that board.
That's chill, man.
So yeah,
How did you get into just from like circuit bending stuff? I'd say, yeah.
I love circuit bending. It's fun as hell. Yeah, but anyway.
Oh yeah, J-Rad. He said, sorry, we're gonna go back a second. So Greg, if you're still chilling, yeah, that's how we were talking about chiptune. So Greg,
Yeah.
but yeah, let's do a collab, Greg. I'm totally down. That's Nady and I Productions. Is Greg, an old friend of mine. So check out their channel. They're working on like it's like a web series, comedy web series. It's pretty funny. And pretty left field. It's cool. I like the black and white as well. I didn't get to tell you. I didn't get to give you like a solid review, Greg. I'm sorry. I'll have to do that at some point. Yo, what's going on, Matt? It is really warm in New York State. It's not as bad as it's been. The past few days have been a little bit more bearable, but there was a couple days there.
Yesterday was
like,
fucking
yeah,
brutal.
yesterday like.
It was super, super hot yesterday.
Oh yeah, yesterday I had to walk my neighbor's dog, and that's right, because I was like drenched by the end of like a 20-minute walk. Yeah,
I was cutting grass until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I had to go to a session, and I forgot to turn the AC on during the day, so.
Oh man.
I had to like try to force cool the building before the dude got there.
Oh man, did it work out?
Worked out okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Not bad.
So yeah, it's pretty hot and heavy here, David. Jared's been working, playing drums in the emo punk duo. Sick, man. Just drums and guitar with my friend Aaron, having fun with that. Yeah, send it up. I'd love to check that out. Do it up. Have you been tracking on the 4-track? The mono synths we were talking. Joel's through here. Joel, what time is it over there? 5? It's got to be like close to 1 a.m., right? Dylan is not a Casio kid. That's too bad.
Damn.
Semi-modular synths. Huh. Is that modular synths? Is that the same thing?
I'm not sure what semi-modular synths are.
Huh. Yeah, I don't have experience with it myself. Sounds like a serious rabbit hole. Yeah. It gets all the circuit bending stuff is yeah.
Well, the cool thing about circuit bending is it can be anything.
Well, yeah, you have like sleep machines in your repertoire.
Yeah. But I mean, you can start out like you take a Con Air sleep machine. It's like $20. You know, easiest thing to do with that is make it go faster and slower. There's one resistor that you take out and you put a pot in its place.
Oh, really?
And as you vary that resistance, it either speeds way the hell up or it slows way down.
That's cool.
You know, so that's real simple. A lot of people are weird about.
Well, at one point that it was like, I remember there was like a very big trend, like a circuit bending thing.
Yeah.
Is it still in favor right now? It's like,
I mean, there's still people.
At one point, it was
love
like super. I remember it was like the thing. Maybe I don't know what year that was around, but maybe like mid 2000s, like
probably
2000.
Something like that. Yeah.
I remember like everybody. There's like bands would have like people that were just like in their, you know, it's like a rock trio with like a circuit bending guy on the side. Like,
well, there's two misconceptions with circuit bending, or two, you know, things that are misunderstood.
Yeah.
But people think that like you should only circuit bend things that are battery powered, which if you know even a little bit about electronics is bullshit. That's, I guess, safety precaution, but
because of the transformer.
Don't stick your jumper wires in the mains and you're fine.
Now that's for stuff that has a transformer like on board.
Well, yeah, where it would plug into the wall.
Yeah.
But they don't recommend you do it even with things that plug in with like a wall wart kind of like one spot deal, you know.
Yeah.
And it's all bullshit.
Well, that was my question about like working on the Tascams, for instance, like the 424 when you took mine apart.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was there anything in there that you were afraid to touch, or
not at all.
That would have been charged still?
That one has like 22 volts coming in, and it's a, you know.
But if that had just like a regular, well, like an amp has like the transformers inside the amp, so that's where you got to start being careful.
Amps,
when you're opening shit like that up.
Yeah, but like a solid state amp will have the mains coming in, it hits a fuse, a switch, maybe the pilot light, and then a transformer. And what comes out the other side is somewhere between, 20 volts and 100 volts usually. And that'll bite you, but it won't kill you. Actually, that in most cases won't even come close to hurting you. That's like a ooh.
Yeah.
But where you get into trouble is things like tube amps, and especially once that voltage is rectified into DC. DC has the unique capability of stopping your heart.
Oh, shit.
Enough current DC, even a few milliamps, is enough current in DC voltage to
Yikes.
To negate your involuntary reflex that forces your heart to pump. So it literally can stop your heart. So yeah, that's sort of a little bit different game, but with anything,
Yeah.
like anything else. I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, stay out of there.
Yeah,
And if you think you're comfortable with it, then watch where your hands are.
Right.
You know, it's like running a table saw or like any other dangerous ass thing. Like
Right.
you
If
wouldn't
you know how to use it.
you wouldn't jump out of an airplane in a parachute without knowing like where the ripcord was, right? So
Right.
like,
Yeah. So
why would you open an amp and stick your hand in there without knowing where the bite you places are?
Right.
You know, you have to be prepared for the things you're trying to do.
Heck yeah. Okay, Greg, saw that.
Yeah, modular synths. Do either of you have a Dremel? Yeah, I have a Dremel.
David said the East Coast is weird. I got Brazilian friends here in Montreal, and they don't like the heat. Yeah, I agree, man. It's like the desert. When I was out west a couple weeks ago, like I would take that any day over because it's just. Well, I don't know. We were talking about how it's 100 degrees, but it doesn't feel nearly as hot. It's like a dry heat. But it's the humidity here. That's what I've been saying too. Like,
oh yeah, always.
It's like nasty. Like if it was this temperature in, Arizona, it would be a beautiful fucking night, But it's and a great day. But it's like here, it's just so. Like it rained yesterday. I was over at Hapro's.
Didn't do shit.
Oh, over there it like really cooled down.
No, oh, did it?
Yeah, it was nice. Well, he lives like almost like a different. He lives like an hour away, so it's like, and in the mountains, so it's like a different. It's crazy. The weather is like completely different there.
What's sort of interesting is that we've had sporadic rain, kind of nonstop. We've had dry days, but every couple of days we get something. But I'm already seeing lawns that are turning brown and shit.
Yeah.
That gives you an idea of how hot it got and how fast.
Yeah.
That's not like that phenomenon usually doesn't start until early to mid July.
Right, and here we are in May, or end of May.
The lawn at my fucking house is brown already.
Right.
That's usually August.
We got a question. When are you going to put out a 424 recording comp? I don't know. What are you thinking in terms of that comp? I'm not really sure. Is that like a user submitted thing or? Because I put out, there's a Bandcamp, there's a couple songs on it, but I'm assuming you mean some sort of like Tascam generated compilation. I mean, we could do that. Sure, let's do it.
Julian, yeah, I've never been hit by. I got hit by 190 volts DC one time working on a prototype tube compressor pedal that somebody built in like the 70s, and I made the mistake of fishing around in there without really knowing where the danger zones were, and it got me.
Shit.
And it sucked. My arm hurt for a couple days after that.
Oh my God.
But I've been, I mean, knock on wood, I've been lucky so far with actual high voltage things. It does get pretty fucking scary when you're working in like some of the old Ampeg shit that's running, 590 and 610 on the plates and stuff.
I don't know what that means.
That's crazy. That's the plate voltage. That's the highest node in the power supply of the tube amp.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, like you have a background in electrical work, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you like something like all this stuff isn't foreign to you. Like you have an idea. Like for somebody like me, I have no idea if I was to. I mean, I could identify parts and pieces,
Right.
but like I would be really scared to go like popping around and.
Well, you don't just go popping around. That's the
don't.
trick.
I don't. Yeah.
That's the trick.
But that's what I mean. I guess like if anybody's watching this who's thinking about opening things up, I mean, I feel like we should say a disclaimer like.
Well, I mean,
don't open shit up.
The disclaimer is if you don't think you know enough about it to be fucking with it,
then don't.
or if you don't think that you're going to be completely cool as a cucumber and kind of in the moment when you're working on something like that,
right.
take it to somebody else. Because the minute you crack that open with it plugged in and get nervous and get jittery and shit, that's when bad things start happening.
Right.
So if you're sweating it at all, let somebody else deal with it.
That seems
those
like
kind of
sage
voltages.
advice.
Well, yeah, those kind of voltages will fuck you up. But the old school, like radio repairmen, and then they all turned TV repairmen as that became a thing. The rule in those shops was always one hand in the pocket, which meant no matter what happened, it was only happening here, right? So like if you're right-handed, you're working in the chassis with that hand, your other hand is in your pocket. So there can never be a DC path across your heart through your chest that way. The worst it can do is, and what usually happens to people is, like your forearm will be resting on the chassis and you touch something with your index finger, so you get that jolt through here, which pisses all this off, but it only goes from here to there, really. If it went from here and this hand was on the chassis, that means it went whoosh, just like that, and that voltage with that, even that little bit of current, maybe, the average power supply probably has a max of 240 milliamps available, a quarter of an amp, at idle. So, yeah, I mean that's 7 or 8 times enough at 500 volts to make your heart not beat anymore.
Damn.
I forget what
That's
the figure is.
shit.
I think it's either 10 or 15 milliamps of DC voltages like that is enough to negate your normal pulse.
Yeah, because your heart runs on like electrical impulse. Yeah.
Your whole body runs on electrical impulse.
It's crazy. So there it is, kids.
They talk about
Be careful. Opening things up.
Well, receptors and nerve path and all that shit. Like it's all electrical.
Yeah, like
circuits.
your brain too. Yeah,
it's
like
all
neurons,
electrical
like
circuits.
yeah. It's all like electric.
It's not copper wire and solder and shit. It's meniscus and fucking, cartilaginous cords and ribbons through your body and stuff. But same idea.
Oh, Greg asked about the Dremel. I don't know why.
Oh.
I don't know. I need a Dremel to put a wider hole in the Game Boy shell to fit the cable jack. You can put an overclocker in there and stuff too. Yeah, so I should say my buddy. Oh, nice. Oh, so Greg, you're still floating around here. 424 by Mariam, nice. Yeah, so Greg's a really old buddy of mine. He was in the first band I was ever in. He actually got me into playing music and indie rock. So this is pretty awesome that Greg is floating around. I don't know if he's still here or not, but oh, cool. So he's still here. So he, I don't know, Greg. What would you say? You're like a Instagram influencer, right? You have like a Game Boy modder. So
Word.
That's interesting. I mean, it sounds like you're in the right place. Game Boy modder, yes. So interesting. So you're looking to I don't know. Do you have a Dremel?
Yeah.
Jay's got one.
But what do you need? You need a round hole or a square hole? And is it like between the shell, the halves of the shell of the Game Boy that you're trying to enlarge it?
Yeah, he said round. And I think it is like...
So you're just trying to enlarge the hole that's already there? Is that about the size of it? If it's between the case halves and you're just trying to enlarge that already existing round hole in its current location, I would bolt those halves together tightly, clamp it in a what they call a drill press vise. That's what I use for drilling out stuff. Make sure you pad the jaws so it doesn't mess the housing up. And then I would just tap that hole bigger with a step bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you have a drill,
unibit.
Yeah.
Well, if you use a unibit, it keeps the hole perfectly concentric to its original footprint.
Oh, okay.
If you try to do it with a regular drill bit, two things happen. One, it'll bite and snag on its way in and probably
like a
break the
step
case.
bit?
Yeah, a step bit.
Oh,
unibit.
okay.
Yeah, I would use a unibit.
Okay. Like the cone one, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I think, yeah. That's what I used when I was making my own pedals. At one point, I had a couple of those, and I was just like punching out the holes for the switches and stuff.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I got a whole set of them. The Greenlee ones are the best ones, but they're also 3 times the money of like the Asian market ones. There's like gold titanium ones that come from like China and shit. I've been using a set of those. I got a set of 5 of them. I've been using those for probably 7 or 8 years, the same set, never sharpened them, nothing. So the Chinese ones are just as good.
Is that what we're using for the task vamp?
Actually, for the task vamp, we're gonna go and buy some brand new Cobalt regular size drill bits. I'm gonna do 1/8 inch pilots for everything, and then we're gonna drill them right to size with that. I'm not gonna even mess with the step bit.
Cool.
We'll chamfer the holes by hand and
Yeah.
make it all neat. It keeps the heat down in the workpiece if you don't have to go through 30,000 steps to get the right size hole. You really just need a marked divot, and you can strike that with a prick punch to, and just go full size first shot. But I feel like starting everything with an eighth inch hole makes it a little bit cleaner. And we're going to do them in the drill press anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
The only thing that's going to be tricky is the XLR hole. Those we'll do with the, I have a Greenlee unibit that has really odd graduated steps in it. And that does real nice for XLRs and tube sockets and stuff.
Cool. J-Rad said we're tracking on Pro Tools. Cool. I'm excited to hear what that sounds like. I'm just trying to catch up. We're talking about sci-fi sound effects. Oh, that's the
Joel,
modular synth, I'm guessing.
Joel, I would lecture, but I'm pretty sure that most places that would have lectures on the things that I like to talk about also don't really care that much for my gratuitous use of the F word. So there's something weird about like perceived bad language and talking to a room full of tech nerds or would-be
I think it's
tinkerers.
like coming around though. I think people are, because at least I know in terms of like YouTube, I keep up with some of the stuff, and they were saying like, as long as you're not just like gratuitously, saying like fuck here, there, and everywhere, like they don't really care.
Well, the thing about that whole thing is like,
So I mean, like I feel like that's not something you would have ever been able to do, like in terms of like, what was it, FCC? Because I know like radio, like I used to do a radio show when I was younger, maybe like 10 years ago, whatever, and it was like, if you swore, if you said something, you had to immediately be like, read this like, I don't know, like.
Well, the fine used to be 10 grand per word.
Yeah, so it's like
Howard
not that
Stern
anybody was
style.
monitoring. Yeah, not that anyone cared about like cause, but it's like you had to read this disclaimer that was like riot act,
Yeah.
But now I just think that's interesting because like now a platform like this, social media is just kind of like, well, I thought that was super interesting because I was like, oh well, in terms of when. YouTube doesn't really care as long as you're not. So what I'm saying is, do it up, go for the lecture. Who cares if you're
Here's the thing, though, is that like the way that I speak and the words that I use are pretty much universal. It doesn't matter what situation I'm in. I could be like at a show where we're playing, or I could be at dinner at my grandmother's house, and the words are the same.
Right.
It just happens to be how I speak, and
that's how you roll. Yeah.
If that's a little too coarse, then you can have my apologies when you wrench them from my cold, dead hands. How about that? Watch your mouth.
So Craig wants to do a video with us where we build, I'm assuming one of those Game Boys. So let's do it, Craig. I have a DX11. Yeah, I like an FM synthesis. That's like that. David, the '80s sound. I think Tom has a DX7 or a DX5, right?
DX7.
I like those sounds.
David, to answer your question, no progress on the 38. Haven't had time. Way too much shit going on right now. Although I have a growing pile of further accessories and things to strap to that machine now, so probably should really get on that.
Yeah. I have not, since we last talked, David, I haven't contacted that guy yet. There was actually another Fostex Model 80 in Tarrytown that this guy has.
Oh, yeah?
And he has the
test reel?
The test tape. He's got some, like a tape, the mixer, and then another machine.
Which mixer?
450? Fostex 450? He said he wasn't sure. I guess that's one of the ones that came with it. But he wasn't sure how to hook it up.
I don't think anything came with it. You had to buy it.
Oh, right. Well, that's like one of the ones
the recommended
for it. There's like Fostex 350, I think Dave was saying, and Fostex 450. Yeah, it's worth a shot. I should probably just reach out to him and say, hey, what up with this, if it's not gone already. Yeah, I mean, that's like another project. Because we have to open that up, right? Like, you're going to check that one out?
Yeah, we got to take that thing all apart. And, I mean, there's parts that it's gonna need obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
Pinch rollers.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Maybe picking up that other guy's one, but I don't have the bread right now to do it.
Yeah.
DC.
Well, I mean that's sort of the scope of that the whole deal with the one you got anyway. I mean, you got to get a test tape.
Yeah.
Pinch
I
roller,
know, well,
whatever
yeah,
repairs
yeah,
it
yeah.
needs. I mean, there's it's going to be on hold.
Well, that's why like the calibration tape that this guy had. Like I think he wanted like 200, 250 for everything. So it was kind of like.
Oh shit! You can't even get a new calibration or a
Yeah,
test reel.
that's why I was thinking like shit. Maybe I should just pick this up or, try to make a deal with the guy. But all in due time. Where were we? Okay, so James Dunn said user submitted 424 compilation. Yeah, I mean we could do that. The only thing is I'm finishing up some songs. All right, yeah, send them over. I'd love to hear them. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about doing something like that. I just feel like I don't want to be a gatekeeper. I don't want to be somebody who's like in charge of like people sending songs to and then putting them on like a thing. Like I don't know. It's just not my style.
I don't know. I started making one when I was a kid.
A comp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have it. It's like 16 songs on a cassette somewhere in my storage boxes in my house.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could do it. I don't know.
I mean, you could do it just Bandcamp only too. If
Yeah,
you really wanted
right.
to.
Throw it up on there.
But yeah.
Yeah, something to think about. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? I think it was something we talked about doing a while ago, but yeah, I'm not against the idea. Not Yeah, I love the DX, the '80s synth sounds. If you guys use I think it's the Korg Volca FM. That's like the DX5 or something, and like a phone-sized enclosure. Jay should lecture for sure.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Screen froze. Let's see.
I also think if I lectured, I'd probably scare people with. There's a lot of people who are already sort of like on the fence about repairing their own stuff. Oh, I got a funny story about that though. So, 2 weeks ago, I fixed this little Phil Jones bass amp for a guy. It's a piece of shit thing. It's Chinese made, low quality components, whatever. So it was like cutting out and acting up, and pretty easy fix. Took maybe a half hour, but I only had like 1 day to do it by the time he finally got it to me.
He needed it like that night.
Yeah, he needed it for a gig. So I took the thing apart. I fixed all the stuff I found. Luckily had parts in stock for it, and got it working sweet. Took it over to the studio, hooked the DI up, made sure it was working nice, wasn't noisy and shit. Called the guy up, got it back to him. He takes it home and he calls me back and he's like, "There's like a rattling sound when I move it." What do you mean there's a rattling sound when you move it? I said, "Yeah, something's rattling." I said, "Well, take the amp plate off the back, reach in there and figure out what's rattling." I don't know. I mean, I didn't put extra jewels or anything inside the fucking thing. He said, "Well, I don't know if I can do that." I said, "It's 8 screws. What do you mean? Just take the 8 screws out, pull the thing out, reach in there and see what's in there." "Oh, I think it might be dangerous. I'm afraid to do it." Like, listen. It's a solid state amp. Make sure it's unplugged. Take the module out. Reach your hand in there. There's literally nothing in there that can happen to you. It's like, "Oh, well, I don't know. I think I just won't be able to use it for the gig." Like, no. I made a special trip out of my way to get
Fix
you this
it,
amp
get
last
it
minute.
done, yeah.
I did a rush job on it so that you could have it.
Hold on 1 second. Yo, can one of the mods take care of this guy in the chat? Who wants to do the honors?
I actually believe 9/11 was an inside job too, but
Oh yeah, I just didn't want to go there.
I don't know if I believe we went to the moon. I've had like awkward band practices over that topic, but so I guess the end of that story is he finally takes the 8 screws out and he calls me up and he says, "I can't get the panel out." I said, "What do you mean? Just lift it out." And he says, "Well, how would I do that?" I said, "I just reached a fingernail under the edge and popped it out." He's like, "Oh, I can't do it." Like, can't or won't? He's like, "Oh, I can't get it to come out."
What
So,
could
I said-
right now I'm like, what could possibly be in this thing?
So wait, I'm getting there. So I said, "Well, take an XLR, plug it into your DI, the DI output, and just gently use that as a handle to pop the whole panel out if you can't get it out any other way. So he does that, and he calls me back and he says, "Yeah, there was a very small washer in there." I said, "Okay." He's like, "Do you think that's a problem?" It's like, probably just got stuck to some shit when I was putting the thing back together. Not a big deal. I said, "Did you put it back together?" He said, "Yeah, I was able to get it back together." I said, "And is the rattle gone? Is it making any buzzing sounds?" No, I think it was just the washer." I said, "See? So you're going to drive it an hour and a half back to me, not have it for your gig, just because you're too chicken shit to take the power amp module off of something that could never in a million years electrocute you anyway." So I forget what my point even was. You know, but
I think you're just saying it's like a funny story because like
yeah, it's like people are afraid, like, you know. First off, it's not like everything that's electrical or electronic could hurt you. And second off, it's not like everything that's electronic or electrical will hurt you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, John was saying...
I'm literally on the phone telling you how to take it apart based on exactly how I took it apart. And I'm reassuring you beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
Because honestly, that would be my liability. If I told you to take that panel off as like the technician and you did that and you died,
right,
like that would be my fault. I would assume culpability for that.
Right.
So I'm not going to tell you to do anything that like would put you in harm's way anyway.
Right.
It's just, I don't know. It's just hurdles, man.
Jeb coming through. What up, Jeb? He said, speaking of, I think this was interesting. You get muscles to contract when the nervous system might not be into. Oh, yeah, he's talking about using electrical impulses.
Yeah.
That's cool. To help people with strokes and car accidents. That's awesome.
But those are usually AC pulses too.
Oh, not DC, yeah.
Right.
I
mean, as far as I know, I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, it probably is, right?
I would think so.
J-Rad said, so Moog is obviously modular. Like
not necessarily.
VCS3. I think they came out with a new... Have you guys seen the new Moog? It's like a Moog... I don't know, Moog Mother or something? It looks like that one is modular. Like,
well, the Euro
like
Rack...
Built it, yeah.
The Euro Rack stuff is where the modular synth game lives.
I do remember that Jerky Boys prank. By modular, I mean constructing a huge synth out of many little modules. Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, though, that, like, if you were to take the back shell...
talking about that, man.
If you take the back shell off of a CRT TV, there's a little suction cup with a giant red cable coming out of it. If you were to make contact with what's inside of that suction cup, it would blow you across the room and put your fucking lights out.
Oh, my God.
Because most people think about electronics and electrical components, electronic components, as capacitors being the only thing that are capable of storing a charge. But in a CRT television, the phosphorus coating inside the tube actually is capable of storing a high voltage DC charge.
Whoa.
So if you don't degauss that, but to degauss the CRT TV, you make a wooden rod about this long with a nail on the end with a wire that comes out to an alligator clip. There's a ground band of wire inside the whole TV. So you clip it to that, you reach that nail up inside the suction cup and go snap! Snap! And after it stops snapping when you stick it in there, then it's done. Then you can fuck with it. But yeah, that's no bullshit. That shit'll knock you unconscious.
Oh my God.
That's for real.
That's like grounding it out, right?
Yeah, and that's like 20, 30,000 volts sitting inside that thing.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I'd be really careful. I did a bunch of I guess it would be circuit bending of TVs. I forget what they call that. It's like Wobbletron, I think, was the first one. It's where you disconnect the deflection coils for the TV and apply audio signals to them instead. Wait,
that's like a genre?
No, Wobbletron is like what they call the device after you do it. You take a CRT TV and you discharge it, but it's got at the back of the tube it comes to a point, and the deflection coils are like this yoke of wound copper wire, and there's horizontal and vertical coils, And they're usually somewhere between 4 and 40 ohms of resistance. So they easily drive with the output of like a solid state amp, like 30 watts or whatever. So we have Surmiser TVs actually in storage that are set up to do that. And there's an amp with a preamp and microphone antennas that sit on top of it and make it do it.
Whoa.
And it just draws like crazy fucking lines. And then when the music stops, it goes to a single dot in the middle of the screen.
That's cool.
It's cool shit. But yeah. I'm going to step out for 1 second, man.
Cool, man. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that new Moog that just came out since we were talking. You guys are talking in the chat about semi-modular, modular synths. That thing looks really cool, and I don't know if you can. It basically looks like a Eurorack module, and I don't know if you can mix and match your own parts for this or your own units for it. But if you can, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you guys saw that. I thought it was pretty cool, and it looks like a cool introduction to synth. And I don't know. I'm really happy with my Moog Minotaur back over there. I don't know if you can see it. I mean, you guys know I have that thing. It's pretty dope. It's chilling right there behind the Digitakt. Yeah, it's pretty dope, man. I went to the Moog factory actually by chance when I was in North Carolina a couple of years ago, and it's a really cool place. They're made in USA in Asheville, and if you're ever down that way, as I'm sure some of these guys that live down there in the Carolinas can tell you, it's a cool place to swing by, and it's like an adult toy store. Well, it's really cool. I felt like a kid, just like hanging out in there and playing a bunch of their synths and getting hands on. They give you like a little tour of the facility, and you meet all the people building they're like literally building like the Moog synths there. It's really really cool place. So if you're ever down that way, I definitely suggest checking it out.
Where?
The Moog factory in Asheville.
Yeah.
I stumbled upon there one time. So when I was down there, this maybe just goes to show how little I know about things, but I was in Asheville and I saw the Moog symbol, and I thought it was just maybe graffiti because it's like Han painted on the side of the building. So I thought maybe there was just like an abandoned factory. It was far away, so I was like, I don't know what that is, but I want to go check that out. And it turns out that was the Moog factory. Like went in there and was like playing with all the little toys and synths and stuff, and it was really cool. So I was just telling these guys that story about that and about the Moog, because like a lot of people are bringing up the modular, semi-modular synths in the chat.
Yeah.
You know.
There's that guy around Saugerties, Malcolm, fuck, I forget what his last name is. Malcolm Cecil. You ever hear that guy?
Malcolm Tent?
No, Malcolm Tent's totally different. Malcolm
Yeah, I've
Cecil
heard of
built
him.
the giant synthesizer. It takes up like a whole room. I think it's called like Alvin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like Stevie Wonder played it like on a bunch of records, and
Yeah,
they
I've
used
heard
it live
that.
and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
That's in Saugerties.
Really?
Yeah. You
We
used to
should
be able
go
to
there.
call that guy. It used to be 246-0100, I think. Was his fucking phone number, and he would take you. It was set up in his garage, and he would take you in there, and you could fuck with it.
Wow. We should find out if that's still a thing.
I'm sure it probably is.
David sent a picture of the inside of his Fostex 250, I think, that he's trying to build. Oh no, this is, I guess, his gear sluts, but like, oh yeah, it does look way different than the Tascam stuff, the internals. He said, what a mess.
Looks like quite a belt job.
Yeah. That looks sick. Yeah, I thought that was a cool, when I saw that coming out, I thought that seemed like a pretty cool synth. I don't know,
David, if you head down from where you are, from Canada all the way down there, then you're going to be crossing right through where we're at. You'll have no choice. You'll be taking 87 or 90 to 87 down to 95. Yeah.
Oh, J-Rod went there, yeah. My wife grew up in Asheville. She took me to the Moog. That's so funny. Yeah, John, those, I don't know, man. That's what my head explodes like with the modular stuff. There's just so much to learn about them. But it definitely, I had this like weird revelation when I was down there at that place, and like that was when I started like really getting intrigued by synthesis, and I was like, synthesis. I mean, I know Jay is gonna hate this and disagree, but I think synthesis is like the pinnacle of like music creation because you're literally like synthesizing whatever sound you want. What do you think?
I'm just gonna put it out there. I think synthesizers are boring.
Okay.
I really like. I don't know.
I can feel you on that. I can feel you on that.
The
What I love about
the
it is the infinite nature of it.
well
It's
that
like
I
you
can
just like
appreciate. That I
make
can
whatever
appreciate.
you want. You know, like out of just like a pulse width sine wave, you can make like an entire
Sure.
drum kit.
And somebody Jeb said bell and gong sounds like that's about affecting the way the envelope works and the pulse wave and all that shit.
Yeah.
But I mean it's just I don't know. I mean as many sounds as there are available through a synth, it's like a guitar. I mean it's like fucking it's kind of a one trick pony when you shut all the sounds off.
Sure, sure.
There's only a max of what
It's
88
an
notes if you
instrument,
have like the
yeah.
full scale. I mean it's sort of
I just thought like, wow, that's so. How cool is it that you can like manipulate sound? Like that's what synthesis, like synthesizer is. It's like you're you're almost like a chemist, like synthesizing your own sounds using these tools.
But I
I
mean,
don't know, I just thought that was like a cool.
yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. I don't know.
No, yeah, it's
Kind of
like
what fucking killed it for me was like,
well, people go overboard.
she
Right?
blinded me with science, like that
What's that?
whole 80s era,
Like
like
New Wave
Thomas
stuff?
Dolby, like all that bullshit. I don't know. It kind of killed it for me. Like the Eurythmics and stuff. People make a big deal about like, oh, Sweet Dreams was done on like this, Swedish rhythm computer. Like, yeah, it sounds like balls. How about that? Like I got an SR-16 from 10 years later that smokes that thing.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. There's just something about it that doesn't really shine for me.
Yeah,
But hey,
yeah,
to each
hey.
their own, man.
Yeah.
If that's how you like to create,
I just think
I
it's
won't stop you.
it's super cool. It's like, well, I feel like those sounds are coming back, and we're, I don't know. I guess they're always around, man. It's just interesting how things like, because I never was into synthesis either. I never really like understood it or like. It's
I
just
like-
always, I'd always like over my head, and then I started like when I saw the Moog Factory, I was like, okay, I think I get this now.
Well, I really appreciate the idea of capturing sounds and being able to use it like a sampler sequencer kind of thing.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
Did you ever see that emu I got?
No,
No.
isn't that an animal?
No, it's
Emu?
it's an emu. Forget what the hell it's called. It takes floppy disks.
Oh shit!
It's like this huge fucking thing.
I don't think I've ever
Some
seen
guy on
this.
Craigslist gave it to me, literally.
What?
But
It's all about like capturing your own or like loading your own patches.
you make the sounds and you save them to these floppy disks.
Floppies,
You know, like
yeah,
the 3.5s or whatever, 3.25, yeah, 3.5. So I got his whole like catalog bank from like the. I don't
Really
know.
quick, why are those called floppies? Those discs are like rigid as fuck.
Because the ones that came out before them were actually
like,
floppy,
actually
5
floppy.
1/4s,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and before 5 1/4s were 7 3/4s. I think they were like fucking. It was
Huge.
almost like
So
a record.
oh,
sleeve.
I didn't realize like that was so that's the next step in that evolution of those. Okay, that makes
I
sense.
think on the 5 1/4s you could fit like, I think it was 1.25 megabytes fit on that thing.
I remember like as a kid we had a computer and we were like I remember like installing games with those like the 5 what are they 5 1/4? And you'd have to put in like 20 discs or like
Oh, to
more
make it do anything.
to like install like just like some shitty. I mean they were fun games, fun as shit, but those are the days, man.
First computer I ever used was the Apple IIe, and all the games existed on those floppies. Castle Wolfenstein,
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Buck Rogers. I used to play.
Like those Atari looking games.
They were like, I think Atari even had the Apple IIe beat. I got to be honest with you,
You think? Oh my god.
because the screen was a black screen with green display, and it was just
Oh,
lines
yeah,
and like
yeah.
blips and shit. It was like Castle Wolfenstein. I couldn't even tell you what that game was about.
Yeah.
It was like little green dots and then hollow green dots, and they just walked through lines and shit. I don't
I
know.
know. That's what's super interesting. Like what Wolfenstein. I don't know. This is getting into like a different YouTube channel, gaming stuff. But like
Well, we never really stick to the
no,
topic
we
at
don't.
hand
We're
anyway.
doing all over the place. But yeah, like Castle Wolfenstein. Like it's crazy how the not the genre, but the title has changed so much from Like basically 3D, I think, is the company that made Wolfenstein. They bought the rights to Castle Wolfenstein that
Hmm.
this other guy had made, and that's what it evolved into, like what you see now. There's like a new Wolfenstein game recently, but I just think that's super interesting, like the
Tonto.
evolution.
Tonto, that's what that thing's called.
Bobby, what's up? Just saw you chilling in the chat. Yeah, you guys should like
I'm gonna see if you can still find that thing for Malcolm Cecil.
yeah, man, it'd be so cool if we could go there and like
TontoStudio.com, bro. Let
tontostudio.com.
me see. Yep. Oh, it's 246-0001.
That's a
You can
cool phone
still
number.
fucking call him up. Look, look. There he is with that damn thing. See that shit?
Oh my god, dude, we gotta go
You
there.
don't even know. I'm gonna link this in the chat so you all can see this.
Dude, that I like that guy's style, man.
He was born in 1937.
Oh, is he's still kicking it?
Yeah, he's still around.
We gotta go there. We gotta go there and
He's
like,
a Sargatesian, man. He lives right in my town, bro.
yo, let's see if we can like stream from there, maybe interview him or something. That would be so cool. Or just like do a quick little vid on it. That would be awesome.
And his like, I'm pretty sure his whole discography is on that page too.
That's a great phone number. 0001.
Yeah, like the first one
Badass.
in the 246. I'm trying to see if he does mixing and mastering and remote recording and sound design too. I'm trying to find the. Let's see.
Fostex 250 for 75. It's the prettiest cassette 4-track, but inside's, huh. Alright, I'm gonna peep this vid real quick. Yeah, I've been. Oh, I didn't. I don't know if I told you guys. Brian. So I hung out with Brian a couple last weekend or so, and I did like a cool interview with him that's going to be coming out in June on the channel. We just
Nice.
talked about like Spotify and playlists and stuff like that because he's been doing stuff with that.
These are the albums that he produced with that Tonto.
Oh shit!
Stevie Wonder, Music of My Mind, Talking Book,
Intervisions?
Intervisions.
Wow, that's like classic Stevie Wonder right
like
there.
fucking Jesus. Dave, he did a Dave Mason record, a couple Billy Preston records, some bunch of dudes I don't know.
Damn,
Yeah. So that guy lives in Saugerties, and that's him
that's so cool.
in 2015.
I love his style, man. He's just like all like white suspenders, white shirt.
He's a kooky old British
Yeah,
jazz dude,
dude,
man.
looks awesome.
Won a
We
Grammy
gotta,
and shit.
we gotta see if we can get it in there. Oh yeah, this thing's cool, man. This Fostex. I wonder if the 250, because like that, it probably looks like that inside too. Um, yeah, that was cool. What was it? Oh, Brian. So Brian, his dad, he had an old music partner that was like his writing partner or his recording guy,
Yeah.
and I guess he passed away unfortunately, and his dad got a bunch of his old gear. And
Is that where that delay thing came from?
yeah, right. I'm like, oh, I gotta do a video on that too. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, so his dad got picked up a bunch of the equipment from his estate because I guess he left him stuff, and
Yeah.
one of the things he left him was like a Yamaha. I think it's like an MTX8 or something. It's like basically the 488 Tascam, but Yamaha's version. So I think that Mr. Lee, Brian's dad, is gonna let me check that out. So expect some
That's cool.
videos on some alternate 4-tracks coming up. But I would love to get my hands on a Fostex one or check out some of the other ones. Occasionally people float through the channel asking about that. They're like, "Whoa, where's the channel for Fostex 4-tracks?" Or, "Do you guys talk about Yamaha?" It's like, sure, if we can get our hands on one, I'll definitely do some videos on it. So keep an eye out for the Yamaha stuff. That's going to be coming up. I'm excited to check that machine out and just see how it I don't know.
Functions.
Yeah, because like the Tascam stuff, I don't know if it was like we've had this discussion before. If it's like marketing or if it's just like they were more prevalent. But it seems like a lot of people have Tascam stuff.
But I think you'll find across the board when it comes to cassette 4-tracks that like, while some of them may have better workflow and some of them may be less noisy than others or whatever, like they're all working on basically the same technology.
Right.
I mean, there's specific circuits that support that
That
technology.
time period, sure. So it's probably
Well,
the same.
yeah, I mean, you can
Well, I think
clean
that's what a
the
lot of people say too. Is like, oh, well, the videos help immensely, even though I don't have this specific.
yeah,
Because
because
it's all
the
the same
technology is all
workflow.
the same shit. I mean,
Right.
and at the time, like the best chips you could get on the cheap for mass production were like the JRC 4558. I'm pretty sure every single one of those 4 tracks is loaded with those fucking things, or TLO 72s, which are not great op amps. So your signal path is very similar in every single one of them. You know. So
Dude.
it's less about. I guess my point is, it's less about the brand and more about the technology itself,
Right.
or the format really itself.
Yeah, I guess I was just saying, like, I think it's just interesting how there seems to be so many of these floating around,
Yeah.
and then less of the other brands. I don't know if it's just.
Well,
I mean,
that may-
Yamaha has their
Sure.
hands in like everything. They make jet
But-
skis, motorbikes, you know,
But it may be the fact that the Tascam stuff also stood up better.
Yeah. Well, I think
the
that's.
transports were smoother.
I mean, just by that picture that David sent, it does look.
I've worked on a bunch of Fostex things in the last, well, I guess I shouldn't say a bunch. Some Fostex things over the last 5 years or so, and it's always like transport problems. The transport jam up, things get cockeyed in there, or they wore out, years ago, and people still been using them. But
Yo, this is.
I feel like with the Tascam stuff, like that doesn't really come into play as much. Motors die and they need belts and stuff, but actual parts that are worn slam ass out to the point of not working anymore is pretty rare. Reel to reels is a whole other thing, but
Yo, so. That's interesting. That's.
yeah, I think that's the thing, is like they used
Track light. Peace, everybody. I didn't know track light was here. Maybe they're just saying peace. Peace be with you.
piece track light.
That's something I was going to mention really quick that just got me thinking about this. So it appears that Tascam within the past few days just unveiled a new press release that says they're putting out I think it's the 202 Mark 7. It's a dual cassette deck. So they're getting ready to release a new, or they just unveiled the fact that they're building a new
2-track cassette.
yeah, this is it right here.
Yeah.
So
It
like
kind of looks like all the old ones they used to make.
right.
You know why they're reissuing that thing though?
Why?
I don't care what their press release says, because all of us little, tape freaks down low that are pressing records on fucking cassettes again have spawned enough resurgence that
Right.
now they have a market.
Right.
You
Well,
know?
this is what my point was after we were just talking about the 4 tracks. What do you? I don't know. It seems like the next logical step, if it made sense, were to be to make. Well, maybe not the next logical step, but given that they're putting out a brand new, because there's a market for
Well, here's the thing though.
dubbing tapes, I guess.
Yeah, but like that ferric head technology, the 2-track shit that they're that's in there, the
Yeah.
left-right playhead or whatever. They never stopped making those.
Right.
They stopped making good ones.
Well,
But there are still companies in China that run them off,
yeah,
man. Like those parts are still
it's
there.
like the same parts they use in like the $100 thing you get over at Best Buy. That's like a tape deck, right?
Well, they have that, but they also have, in
it's just
certain
a different brand, different box.
But in certain sectors, tape is still used. Flight recorders.
Worship, I know.
There's government agencies that still rely on
Well, it's
ferric
like,
and
yeah.
magnetic tape to transcribe and
Sure.
record
That's the
things.
National Audio Company. They always said what kept them in business for
The
a
US
period of
government.
time. Everybody, well, that and the houses of worship.
Oh yeah, that too.
People,
But it's
making tapes for the
it never really went away.
magic spells. Yeah.
Magic spells. But it never, I mean, you go on eBay and you can find mono and stereo tape, cassette heads for a couple bucks. They come from China by the dozen,
Right. So it's not like this technology.
It never
It's not
died
like they're
all the
really
way.
doing anything. They probably just have those Chinese factories that still make them,
I'm sure
putting them in this
that
new
whole thing's probably
device.
made in China
Sure, yeah, oh
or
yeah.
Korea or
I mean, I
wherever.
think that stuff was made in China. I can see it right in the box.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
looking at the. I have a couple
yeah,
Porto 2 boxes or Porto 424s on my bed over there.
yeah. So it's gonna be.
Yeah, I just thought it was super interesting. That means that there's they think there, or the market research shows there's enough interest in people, like you're saying,
Yeah.
people into tapes, making tapes, doing whatever they want to do with tapes.
Well, I mean, you
And
think
it has
about.
a USB too. That's their whole marketing
Mhm.
trick too. Now you can put your stuff from the
But
computer.
there's that's the retro forcing the companies to reactivate.
Right.
Because think about even with vinyl and shit. Over the last 10 years, the vinyl thing started bubbling and then exploded,
Yeah.
and now there are companies making
Short run.
needle to USB,
Oh.
conversion decks and all these things.
Yeah, because people will buy them, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
There's a market, and they're fulfilling that requirement.
I guess the hopeful side of me just thought, hey, that's kind of cool, and hey, what would it take for them to produce a new 4-track, even if it was just like a, yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, a company like Boss and pedals is kind of similar but different. Like they re-release
Yeah.
the distortion after so many years, like, and obviously that's a super, however many units of that sold, but
Right.
what if Tascam did something that was the 50th, 40th, or 30th anniversary of the 4-track machine or something, just for shits. I bet if they made, 1,000 of them, they'd sell every single one. They'd have people lining up for them. I don't know though. This is an MSRP of 500, so
Yeah, and David said that
yeah,
he's heard that the new decks are
are pretty
equivalent to
shit.
bottom quality level 90s units.
Yeah, that's
Although, if you had no access to a quality older vintage deck, and the only thing you could get is this new thing, then it's better to be able to play back and transfer those tapes via something that's maybe not top quality compared to old stuff, but something that works.
right. And hey,
So-
if it gets more people interested in cassettes or whatever, or people can dub their own. I wonder how many you can make with that thing before it just completely. Well, now I'm just being negative.
It probably worked for a long time. I had a Sony boombox from the time I was like probably 10, and it died, I think, when I was about 25.
Yeah.
I never did anything with it except dub tapes and listen to tapes.
That's cool.
And
I mean, honestly,
that
I
was a piece of shit. I mean, it really was.
right,
But it worked, forever.
and that's yeah. I would love to get a unit like that, and just to be able to, or anybody
What
could
up,
get
twin?
one. Just dub your own tapes. That was, I think, Strawberry Sleepover sent us a couple
Yeah.
tapes that were like
Yeah, yeah,
they made the art for them, and we have a great local print shop in town here, and if you can get your own tapes, and hey, Surmiser's got a show coming up. You guys want 10 tapes of your record, like,
We're not even going tapes this time.
So you know what I mean, though. Like
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
than going through National Audio Company or one
Peace
of
out,
these
J-Rad.
companies, Oh, later, J-Rad. Thanks for catching the stream, my friend. Good to see you.
Yeah, I mean, we put out
Um,
tapes on the.
I just think
that
it
last
makes
record,
more
but-
sense, almost like rather than having to get a run of 100, even though they're cheap. If you think you're only going to sell like 10 of them, or you just want a couple for the off chance somebody might want one, then
Yeah.
it'd be so easy just to run one off yourself, get some decent art from the print shop up the street, and
Yeah.
I just think that shit's fun, man. I use that like just for the fucking fun of it. I think is like the DIY spirit of just making something, like anything. If it's like arts and craftsy or something, there's like something fun about it,
Well, I mean, that's sort of what you're talking about is the DIY spirit, man.
Yeah. I guess for that sake of it, I think it's kind of cool, and just so the novelty of it, whatever. But to be able to just like make your own little couple tapes and it's fun stuff.
If you haven't gathered about me yet, I really enjoy the DIY lifestyle.
Yeah, I haven't. I never
Look.
really. I never.
Yeah. I should start a website and call it Cheap, Broke, and Creative.
We should see if that URL is available. I'm sure it
I
is.
bet it would cost you probably $2,000 to get that URL. know, like Angry Young and Poor. You ever shop there?
No.
Angry Young and Poor sells like punk rock T-shirts and patches and like stud belts and all that kind of shit.
It's cool.
But,
That's the .com, angryyoungandpoor.com.
yeah, but you could be making all that shit yourself.
Right. The metric system does make more sense. I'm trying to catch up. Tape deck.
Yeah, I used to get all kinds of shit from Angry Young and Poor, but oh, where'd you put that patch? Show them the patch.
Oh, it's on the black dresser in the. You'll see it. Jay's grabbing a patch that he made for Surmisor. Super. Speaking of DIY.
So we've been doing DIY on the screen print front. So these are the. That's a home screened patch.
Here's your monitor. Let's see.
Oh yeah, there you go. And that's,
those are dope, man.
You know,
I can't wait to use that.
That's the same fabric that Angry Young and Poor will sell you for. You know, that patch from them would be $5.
Right.
You know,
it's good, man. It's like that canvas.
it's duck. It's called duck.
Huh.
It's a heavyweight
Awesome.
utility canvas.
And you made the screen yourself.
Yep, made the screen myself.
That's cool, man.
But yeah.
Track light, a new half-inch machine be nice. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not sure what that's in reference to, but
in reference to the conversation about the new Tascam cassette machine, I believe.
Yeah.
That was around that time.
Word. Yeah, the patches look great, man.
Thanks, Twin. Yeah, I made a screen. The screen has 5 patches on it. And then I got half a yard of that duck fabric. And if I had laid out and calculated a little better, I could have fit more patches. But I screened 64 of those. It took, I don't know, 20 minutes. So it's Speedball white ink from Michaels on duck fabric from Joanne Fabrics. And most of those whites were single poles. A couple of the panels were done 2 poles, and there's a couple with red overlays and stuff. I was just fucking around seeing how easy it would be to line up the screen on a second shot. But yeah,
shit.
thanks. I was happy with how those came out.
Is it Twin's first appearance?
Hey, you just showed up.
Oh yeah, I was trying to catch up on this.
Yeah.
I didn't get my notification. Something is fishy. That's really strange.
I'm also screening more shirts this coming week. Don't tell you that.
Bro. No, I remember, but you guys like sold out. Did we tell?
We didn't sell out all the way. We didn't sell out all the way.
Oh, okay.
We're out of all like the common sizes. We got like XLs left now at
Right.
this point. So did you see the shirt that Tom posted a picture of? I screened.
Oh, I was wearing it last week.
No, did you see the one that? No, the other one.
Oh! I think you were talking to these guys.
So I had the screen design.
It's on Tom's. What's Tom's?
No, it's on the Surmisor Facebook.
Instagram.com/Surmisor Music.
I think it's on the Facebook. I don't know if it's on the Instagram.
Oh, okay.
I'll find it and link it.
All right. Yeah, I want to check that out.
If I can figure out where the hell.
Twin, I'm glad that you were able to make it though. Thanks for coming through, my friend.
Damn, we lost a like today. That ain't cool, man.
We lost the like?
Well, the Surmisor page did.
Oh.
Those are the patches.
It tells you. Yeah, dude. Pump it in the chat.
So, I'm doing these though. Tom is in Bermuda, so he doesn't know anything about this. So I ordered white shirts, and I'm gonna screen this in. I'm gonna screen this design in black on white. I never wear white shirts, but.
Right. Yeah, that'll look cool though.
So that is actually the screen that I made the patches with.
Okay.
And it wore through along the edges and shit. So I'm just screening it just like that.
It looks good, man. It's got that.
That perimeter around it happened because I put a piece of glass over it that was smaller than the screen, and then I used a bulb that wasn't bright enough. So I actually got burn lines of where the painted glass was holding the transparency down.
Yeah.
But I like it. I think it'll be cool.
It looks cool, man.
Yeah. So that'll be the next design.
Nice, dude.
And then I got one beyond that, but I don't know if I can make the screen for it myself.
I think you might be able to get some screens. There's a couple companies. I mean, yeah, you know, You'll
Yeah.
be able to have one of those companies just make you a screen. That's fucking
I
sick.
took one of our promo pictures and edited the background out of it and put the logo on it.
Yeah.
And I think this will screen. I think I can. I don't know if I can burn it at home.
Lucas is so funny, man.
I don't know if I can
He's
burn
always
this at
just
home, but
smiling. I know the face.
I know that I can get somebody to make me a screen and put that on shirts.
Hell yeah. I
And
think you could do that one, man. It's all
it's pretty fine detail though. You
is
need
it all one color?
Yeah, it would be. Oh yeah,
There's
this is.
it's not grayscale, is it? I know
It is grayscaled and then it's contrasted out to.
Oh,
There's
okay.
no halftones.
Okay, yeah.
There's no halftones. It's just black
I
and
mean,
white.
you could always try it if it's too fine, you know.
Well, what I have to get is
A finer screen.
yeah, like a 250 or a 280 or even like
That's
a
right.
340 probably.
Yeah, I remember messing around with a lot of stuff. I used to make T-shirts for one of the bands, and it was a lot of fun.
I'll put a link up so that.
Oh, DVO said totally unrelated, but remember to chew your food well. I almost died last night choking off veggies and couldn't breathe.
Damn, that's not good.
That sucks, man.
So this is what was showing Mike. I'll link you guys to.
Yeah,
it.
look him up.
This is just off of my Dropbox, but whatever. It's a new design I'm playing with.
Matt says he was a DJ for 15 years. I didn't know that. Yeah, Twin, I'm so glad you showed up. I'm so glad that you made it, even though you got sabotaged by the Grammy operatives. They're still fucking with the channel.
Those patches too, if anybody's into those, we're selling them for $2 a piece.
Yeah, you can put these right in a
Plus-
little envelope.
I think I could mail out with one stamp, right?
Oh, hell yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
$2
Just
plus
five
the
pages.
cost of
You can mail it off.
a stamp, and I'll send you one personally.
Business envelope. Oh! I'm slowly getting used to seeing Mike not in a hoodie. Yeah, it feels weird, man.
It's way too hot for
too
hoodies,
fucking
though.
hot for that. Yeah, I'm still getting used to it myself, too, so.
I'm still trying to get used to not wearing a flannel.
Yeah, that's right.
I hate it. Makes
yeah.
me sad.
That's the best time of year, man. Like flannel weather, sweatshirt weather. That's where I want to be always and forever. Always and forever. Cool.
We met in a chat room.
David's redefining the term vegging out. Nice, Matt. Glenn
Yeah.
Snide, inventor of the first distortion. Oh, no. We raised the goblet to
Oh,
you,
yeah.
sir. I didn't hear about that.
Snotty, yeah.
Hot weather flannel technology. Oh, my God, dude.
Yeah, be careful there, David.
Yeah, seriously. And it just came out. I came pretty close. Sheesh. Were you alone, or did you have somebody that could give you the Heimlich? There's that classic 30 Rock episode. I don't know if you guys watch that show. It's pretty funny.
Somebody have to give themselves the Heimlich.
Yeah, like Liz
Oh.
Lemon. She's like a single, woman in her like 40s, I guess, and they're talking about like how you should. It would be great to just have a partner, just so somebody could give you the Heimlich so people don't find you like have choked to death in your apartment. And then that episode, obviously, irony strikes, and she has to give herself the Heimlich, and it's like hilarious. It's hilarious. Not hilarious that she almost died, but.
The
Shit.
context.
Yeah, see, he's usually not alone, but I was. Yeah, there's like that Heimlich maneuver with like a chair. I don't know how you wound up getting it out, but
Am I the only one that ever just chokes on nothing for no apparent reason?
I
You
haven't.
guys ever have that happen?
That happens to me.
Where you're like gasping and can't breathe and hacking for no reason at all.
Well, you do also smoke though. That kind of.
It's not a smoker cough though. It'll be like I'll have like a drink of water, and then a couple minutes after the drink of water, it'll like, I don't know, like I'm choking on the thing I drank like.
You
5
should
minutes
ask
ago.
Becky about that. That's
really weird.
her specialty.
That's her specialty,
Yeah, speech language pathology.
but it's a choking thing.
Yeah, she'll let you know exactly what that is.
It's a tracheal problem, I suspect.
It sounds like there's also like there's like a spot. I don't know how it works, but it like kind of collects. Like over time, it kind of erodes, and like you could have something get caught in there, and then you don't feel it until because I know some of the science behind it too now. But you should ask her; she would know.
Twin, you gotta slow down on those mozzarella sticks. I know that those are
I just
really
choked on mozzarella.
those are really exciting, but eat slower, my friend. Eat slower.
I read sprouts are loaded with funky bacteria. I did.
Nah, the problem with sprouts is when they're sprouted in improper conditions. Then you get
those sprouts. I think you guys were talking about Brussels sprouts.
no, like
Okay.
when you sprout things in a
Yeah.
jar, like in your fridge, the conditions have to be exactly right, or else not only do you get sprouts, you also get things like Giardia and E. coli and
Dude,
kinds of
I
fucked
can't
up
eat those. I
bacterias.
had like a really bad experience with those. Not any issues like what is it called? Extinguishing things, but like I had the weirdest experience with sprouts. Like I was eating them and then I just felt like my whole throat was like on fire. And I was like, I don't know what
Weird.
this is all about. And it lasted for a little while, and then I was like, I can't fucking
Yeah.
eat these anymore. I don't know if I'm allergic to them.
David said he makes the sprouts himself. He wouldn't worry about bacteria. Yeah, I mean, if you're controlling the stream, then it's all good usually.
Oh, okay, I was picturing you choking on Brussels sprout, like a Brussels sprout. Like-
It's kind of like when you make ferments.
Right.
Like I don't really like eating ferments that somebody else made in their kitchen.
Yeah.
But if I made them, I know that like the salinity and acidity was correct when I did the thing. So, yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome that he beat it, man. Yeah, acid reflux, man. That's it's a tough.
Because that's what I'm saying. I think I like choke on my own spit for no reason. It's not even acid reflux or anything. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. But yeah, glad you survived your encounters of the sprout kind, David.
Yeah.
And yeah, is definitely cancer's no fucking joke.
Yeah, man. Oh my god, dude, that's like, that's really scary, dude.
Choking down.
Choking
those
down.
sprouts.
Counters in the sprout kind. Yeah, huh.
I wake up every morning clearing my throat and coughing too, but it usually is due to the 55 cigarettes I smoked the night before or the day before.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
You know. Yeah, that shit is scary. I remember I was a kid and like I was at a hot dog place with a friend of mine. I think we were probably like 7 or 8, and we were like racing to see who could eat their hot dogs the fastest. And the same fucking thing happened. I had like a piece of hot dog like this like got stuck in my throat, and somehow I managed to hack that back up on my own. But that was some fucked up shit. It's terrifying. It's like breathing through like a fucking pinhole when that happens.
Yeah.
Like you can't
Oh god, that's so
get the
scary.
air past. You can feel it, and it's like right there, but
Dude, that's wicked scary. I'm glad that
Sprout's the silent killer. Oh my god.
it's like mucus always creeping up. Weird. Yeah, it's probably because like if you have acid reflux. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but it's probably because like your body is like developing a defense against that.
Not always. A friend of mine had acid reflux really bad, and his was a what's the fucking throat sphincter? I forget what that's called.
Epiglottis?
I don't know, but it's basically like the upper asshole, the intake side. There's a valve that's supposed to shut off the flow of things to your stomach.
Yeah.
You know, and
The breathing and the swallowing, yeah.
yeah, it's like, but it's literally like an asshole. Like you put food in and then it closes. But his was fucked up and it never closed all the way.
So he was constantly choking.
So he constantly had acid reflux
Oh,
all the
shit.
time, constantly, like never stopped ever. Didn't matter what he put in there or what they gave him. So what they did is they go in there and like, so if the thing's stuck, like let's say, it's a 1/4 of an inch open, they suture that so that it's not stuck that open anymore. And then you can't like burp for 6 months or 8 months or something while everything like reheals and figures itself out again.
What? Like
The
you
vent
physically
doesn't open.
can't, or like if you,
You
do,
can't.
you're
No,
fine?
you physically can't.
Oh, okay.
You physically can't. Like your upper asshole is too tight to let things out.
Right.
So it's enter only, I guess. That kind of sucks. But
Enter only.
enter only.
No, I've never heard of Pee Wee Tom's. Want to take care of yourself. Huh, no, I'll have to check that out.
Eh.
That sounds crazy. What's the gist of that? He just like didn't take care of himself? Or he just like all of a sudden was sick? Sounds like he must have been doing something. I'm just gonna check the audio. Yo, how is the audio right now, too, guys? By the way, with the air conditioner on, is that like? I'm just curious. Does anyone notice that?
It's not bothering me in the slightest.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's just.
But if you guys want to see some inspirational stuff about cancer, look up this guy Chris Beat Cancer, and it's like this dude who went through all kinds of crazy naturopathic and homeopathic things to beat stage 4. I think it was. I feel like it was stomach cancer, maybe. And he actually did it.
Jeb is digging the hum in the wind. Oh, he did. Okay. Well, this DBS, he did everything he could, and he's still dying.
Well, I mean,
I think we're all dying, right?
Yeah, Chris Beat Cancer is probably like the best story, or the best possible outcome for a cancer story. But you know, cancer or not, like, you know,
well,
it's true that like from the minute you're born, you're dying.
Right.
Like, you know, it's natural progression.
That's
all part of life.
Yeah.
But
it makes life worth living.
But you know, I have strong disagreements with people who are like health nuts and expect to like live forever because of that, or you know.
Well, that's like the Silicon Valley thing. Have you ever heard this?
No, but
I'll
it's
get
like,
into that.
It's like, oh, if you drink, you know, or if you smoke, or if you do this or you do that, like, you know, you're cutting your life expectancy. But there are a lot of people out there who are on vegan or raw diets, who exercise like fucking crazy, that still die of heart attacks. You might die of kidney failure. You might die of organ failure. You could be the healthiest son of a bitch ever, nothing wrong with you, and then you get hit by a bus.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. Live how you're living. Don't hurt anybody in the process.
Yeah, that seems like sage advice.
If you like fucking Wendy's, live on Wendy's. It's, you know, probably not going to matter that fucking much.
Do something you want to do today. If it's to eat Wendy's, go for it. Hashtag not sponsored. Yeah, what I was gonna say, that whole thing about a lot of these Silicon Valley people now, they just believe that everybody who's living now is gonna live forever, and we're all gonna be uploaded into this like data frame, and we're gonna be traveling the universe as like one.
But in the '70s, they froze fucking Walt Disney's head, and nothing still happened with that or whatever.
That guy's dead. But I mean, this is like they Silicon Valley people believe that a certain segment of these people believe that. We're all going to be uploaded onto like some kind of huge mainframe, and then just like travel the universe in like a spaceship as like this one consciousness. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think I'd want to. I don't know if I'd want to live forever inside of a computer.
Well,
on a spaceship.
No, I don't think so either.
That's the fucked up thing about living forever is like, well, what if you want to die?
You know, David, I agree with you there, but. Like, I think you're only as healthy as you feel anyway, regardless of what a doctor says is wrong with you or not. You know, if you eat healthy but you feel like shit every day, then how healthy are you really? You know, it's a state of mind, and it's a state of being, I think, more than it is a goal for life. I don't know.
Sheesh.
My goal is to not make it past about 55.
Make it past?
Yeah. So get what you can while you can, because you got 20 years.
Well, that's like the Hunter S. Thompson thing, right? He I think 65. He said he was gonna.
And when did he die?
Well, he killed himself when he was 65.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
That was kind of his like.
He picked his own checkout date in that case.
Yeah. There's something that's kind of poetic about that. I mean, he was a writer, but like, you know. That's kind of saying like, well, hey, you know, I got till 65 to do what I want to do, and that's kind of, you know, I mean, that guy filled his life with a lot of amazing experiences, I guess.
One of my grandfathers lived to be 49 years old, and coincidentally, you were talking about that 3.5 floppy before we were talking about it.
Yeah.
You know when you put that in your computer and it would pop up that window and it would tell you what's on that?
Yeah.
Remember how that whole thing works?
Yeah.
He was one of the guys at IBM that designed that.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So 49 years old, dropped dead. My other
What
grandfather,
was his health like? Was he just like always never really doing anything?
fairly average health.
Yeah.
Didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't do anything crazy food wise. I mean, started every day with bacon and eggs, but.
Oh shit. 8:30.
What happens at 8:30?
Well, I just was like putting it because like last time we were going too hard.
Yeah. So, my other grandfather always had premonitions throughout his later life that 67 was his checkout. At 68, he got hit by a train. So.
What?
Yeah,
oh,
man.
that
Yeah, right on the tracks by the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean. Yeah.
That's crazy. Just 1 year different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know how to work that clock, but.
Well, David, yeah, the 112-year-old veteran still smoking cigars and drinking whiskey. You know?
I saw that guy. He's an inspiration.
But listen, my great-grandmother, who lived to be almost 97 years old, used to say this: everything in moderation. So if you're gonna drink, don't drink too much. You're gonna smoke, don't smoke too much. You're gonna,
Well, that guy, he
doesn't
inhale. He doesn't inhale.
Yeah, well, whatever. But you're gonna ride horses, don't ride horses too much. It didn't matter. Everything in moderation. If you're gonna do it, but don't do it too much. Because if you do too much, it might kill you.
Yeah.
You know.
Matt said he's lighting the mood, sending you 2 fully functioning gifts. All right, cool, man. I'm excited to see what they are. I fully cleaned and tested. All right, let's do it, man. Yeah, we're getting pretty heavy here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thanks, Matt.
Jeb, how did that happen? The train thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that smoking and possibly, I don't drink, but I suppose drinking for some people could be stress reducing. I know a lot of people who get beer muscles and end up going to jail when they drink, so.
What's
I mean,
beer
that's tricky.
muscle?
That's when you get drunk and think you're a fucking tough guy, so.
Oh, yeah.
Usually people who
Getting
are
hurt.
not drunk end up kicking the shit out of you, and then
yeah.
you go to jail. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying too. Like, enjoy your life, because even if you ate healthy and did, followed every protocol there is for being the healthiest human ever, you still might get hit by a fucking train.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
that's the whole
not
thing.
to be like,
like
cynical about the
sure,
deal
sure.
or whatever, but
it's just the randomness of the universe.
yeah, you can't. This is not a game you can
There's
win.
no-
you don't
have
make
no
it out
control.
alive.
You have no control.
So Jeb, real quick to touch that. He was on his way out to work. By the studio, there's a train track crossing, and my grandparents' house is about a quarter mile down a second driveway near the studio. So he left for work that morning and rolled up onto that crossing of the tracks. Never saw a train, and it clipped him, and that was it. He was in a little Toyota pickup truck, and it basically turned it into a crumpled mess, kind of off the side of the tracks. And yeah, that was all she wrote. 2005.
And there's been a couple close encounters there. I mean, I've had a close encounter there in the studio.
Sure.
That gentleman that was picking up his Vibro-Champ said he almost had a close. So it's not like it was.
No.
It's one of those things where like
you gotta watch. It's
that
fucking
train
dangerous.
is like you can't really hear it. I don't know. It's weird. It's like all of a sudden it's like right there. It's weird, man. Trains are crazy. I'm sorry. Obviously, I think I've told you, but sorry to hear about that, Jed. It's
I mean,
crazy stuff, man.
It's a long time ago now, man. It's sort of, it's all
Yeah,
part of life.
yeah.
But I'll tell you, like, that was a life changer for a lot of people when that happened. A friend of mine was on the fire department, first responder team that showed up to that. The next week, he quit the fire department. It was more than he could take seeing.
Jeez.
So.
Jed said he knows 3 people. Seems unlikely, but obviously, yeah. That's what they always say about trains and train crossings. It's like, it's just hard to tell the speed at which that thing is coming. It's sometimes like it's the weirdest thing. It's like super loud, super huge piece of machinery, but sometimes you just can't fucking hear it.
The other problem is out by us, coming through that stretch by the studio. Most of the time, they don't blow the horn.
Right.
They'll blow the shit out of it if you blow the crossing in front of them. They love to ride the horn after that, but yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, um,
Sounds like your advisor's living the life, David.
yeah, I mean, but I think the point of life really is to live it, whatever that means. So, however you decide to do that, and however long it lasts, just do
Yeah,
that.
do something you want to do today, right? That's
Do something
I mean,
you want to
that's,
do every day. Don't ever stop.
Yeah, that's I mean that's the mantra that I've developed for the channel, you know, and because if you're not doing that, it's like what's the point of being here? Even if it's something little, you know, if you just want to have Cocoa Puffs for breakfast, like just make sure there's something that every day you can say this is something I legitimately want to do today.
No, I don't. I'm not saying that it's incompatible. I'm just saying that make sure you're enjoying the things that you're doing and the things that you're putting in your body. You know, if to you that means sprouts or Brussels sprouts or broccoli is, you know,
What's the
making
Tone
you
King
happy,
stream?
go for it. I'm all about it. I'm a foodie. I like to eat. I don't like fast food,
Nah, fuck
and
that. Slow food.
but I do like things that taste fucking delicious. So if those are the things that kill me in the end, I'll be just as happy for it, honestly. Oh man, I've had people working on me my whole life to try to make me change and do things different ways and stuff. I don't know. I don't care.
Yo, thanks.
And
man.
honestly, if I think if I gave up all like the shit that I like to do and the things I like to eat and whatever, like lead poisoning from breathing solder fumes probably would kill me anyway.
Yeah. Everything in moderation, though.
Except for solder fumes, those are plentiful. Those are fucking plentiful. Seems like every time I do anything, it involves that. But hey, whatever. What is that?
I don't know. It's another guy doing a stream.
The Tone King?
The Tone King.
The Tone King.
Matt was saying him and Bobby were chilling over there.
Yeah, I know about that vitamin C stuff. Vitamin C megadoses can also cause miscarriage and voluntary abortive things.
Nice, Jeb. That sounds
Very
awesome.
interesting shit.
Vitamin C megadoses, huh?
Yeah.
That's so funny, Matt.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm always curious, like, what other music YouTubers are up to and doing. There's so many different people out there doing stuff.
For vitamin C to be lethal, you gotta take a fucking lot of it. Like a real lot of it. But anyway, we're in a totally separate rabbit hole.
Jeez,
here now.
yeah,
I
we're
think
getting really
we're in the
far
dark.
out.
We're in
Guys,
the dark.
guys, any recording Q&A questions? We're live. We're supposed to be answering. Well, no, we're not. We're not supposed to be doing anything. We do whatever we want
Damn,
on the stream.
Hantavirus. Oof.
But if you guys have
That's a
any
rough one.
recording questions, hit us up. Popular gearhead guitarist in Mass. Oh, cool. He's close by, man. Yeah, I just pulled up the Tone King YouTube channel. It's cool, man. It's just like there's so many people on YouTube doing so many different things. It's always interesting to see what they're doing, and I love checking out other music YouTubers too.
So yeah, go call that guy in Terrytown. That's a recording topic. Man.
Yeah, I should call him.
Bobby, yeah, I have a Task M38 project, and Mike's got a
I got a
Fostex
Fostex Model 80, M80 baby,
M80
it's explosive
project.
that David sent. Again, thank you, David. And there's a gentleman in Tarrytown who has the calibration tape that I should probably just hit him up.
Is he selling the tape or is he selling the whole machine?
He's selling the machine, the tape,
Right, so you're getting the whole shit
tape,
for $200.
the mixer.
Yeah.
So, but like what David was saying was obviously it's good to have a spare for parts, and you know, it can't hurt to have a second one floating around. And it seems like his has some of their issues too. He said that only a couple of tracks work.
So maybe we can combine the issues and
Yeah.
create a machine that functions without
Right.
having to really
It
spend a
sounds
whole lot of
like,
time.
and I don't know because we haven't. Well, yeah, it sounds like the machine that guy has is obviously more functioning because he has it up and running.
Hmm.
So maybe we can somehow, yeah, Frankenstein.
Well, the one you have might be functioning. I mean, we know the meters don't work, but
Oh yeah, that's
once
right.
it's
It was just
calibrated
kind of
and aligned, it
yeah,
might
it
be.
might be fine. I mean, like it seemed like the rest of it was pretty good.
I mean, metering's going to be tricky if the meters don't work, but
Right.
that could
What do
be
you
as
think
simple.
that could be though? Like,
Well, that
'cause
could
the other
be.
guy was saying he thinks his LEDs have burned out. The guy on YouTube.
There's probably a driver chip on the board that runs those, and that chip's probably fucked.
Is that possible to get replacements for?
It depends what it is. I don't know.
Bobby, David would probably be the person that he said Splicit.com, I think.
Splice it, right? Yeah,
Oh,
splice it.
splice it. I've been saying explicit, like explicit.
Bobby, if you look on eBay too, the RTM tape, there's a bunch of different grades and bias formulas and stuff.
Explicit.com. Oh, okay. You gotta put the www. Thanks, Matt.
Oh, splice it does. Okay, I don't know.
Splice
I got my roll of RTM from eBay from some guy from some distro house in Florida somewhere.
Oh, so they okay, I gotcha. So they kind of make it.
Yo, fuck a Zulu. I was part of the creation project of that piece of shit. Forget that thing.
Oh yeah, Jeb, you should talk to Jay about that. He knows a lot about it. What? David, yo, another warning. Don't go digging into an old piano. In my case, it's 1971 Rhodes. I breathed in bad dust and couldn't breathe well for 2 months. Yo, that's nuts. I definitely don't do that while you're eating sprouts, too. Don't combine the two activities.
Oh, you got hantavirus, yeah, from all the mouse shit dust that was in there, probably.
I don't know how much you can talk about that thing.
I
Jay.
can't, John. We can talk about it in email. I can't really talk about it here. I can't tell you what's
Email,
inside it
bro.
because I signed an official NDA.
Basically, you worked on it. You designed it.
I designed the in-out PC boards. I was the one that calculated I suggested the step switches instead of pots, and I did the calculations on the values for that. I calculated the output pad values, and I interpreted data sheets for the fucking idiot that designed it on literally every single piece that's inside that box. The circuit for that thing is what would happen if you sent a kid to Radio Shack to do a 6th grade science project. If you pay $700 for that, you're a fucking idiot. So hopefully that caps pretty much any questions about that. But but honestly, if you want to buy germanium diodes in a box for $700, that's on you too.
Well, yeah, I think Jeb was just saying like he said, oh, it does analog tape sounds. It sounds sweet, but it's like $700.
Well,
It has a 4-track setting.
Yeah.
So Jeb was just saying that he came across this.
Right.
He's not
Right,
saying
right,
that he's
right.
gonna get it.
Yeah, no, don't buy it.
He says too pricey for me, but
Do
he's
not-
saying like
do not buy
he's
that.
just making everyone aware of it. But then,
Yeah.
interestingly enough,
So he mentions in their literature for that thing, it's meant to sound like this tape machine with this formulation. What actually happened was that Langston, the fellow who designed it, basically banged a whole bunch of parts together with line level audio running the wrong way through some transformers, and came up with things that basically didn't affect the signal, slightly affected it, and then affected the shit out of it. And then later on they assigned names to those steps based on the decks and equipment that they had around their two respective studios. So that whole thing, like, it sounds like 456 tape on this machine, it's fucking bullshit. It's all bullshit.
this is totally within your wheelhouse to say like this is not part of the NDA.
I'm not telling you exactly what's in it, nor will I give you the schematic. So
Right. Okay.
as far as I'm concerned, I still have the NDA. It's in my phone.
Right.
But
Well, I just want to make sure that you're not like
no,
we don't have to delete the stream after this.
No. No. Every time somebody
Not that
brings
those
this,
guys are probably will ever watch this.
whatever. Every time that thing comes up with somebody, local, I fill them in basically with the same information.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know. But, you know, it actually wouldn't have been that way if, you know, the quote unquote creator wasn't calling me 37 times a day and texting and emailing and holding me up for hours on end, pumping me for information on the technical side because he didn't understand and then not writing me a check afterwards. See, I'd have been happy to do the work, but, you know, you got to pay for that. There's like hundreds of hours and conversations and emails and texts about that stupid fucking thing and the things that they wanted to do with it. Beyond that, an 8-channel unit, and he wanted to put VUs in it, and he wanted passive EQ, and he wanted to know how to do all that, and he wanted a mic preamp makeup amplifier designed for the back end, which I did and still have the PC boards for. Yeah, so fuck both those guys, honestly. But, so yeah, you came to the right place to ask that question.
Interesting that came up. Yeah, so, what were we saying? Oh, Matt said I only need the task fam. Teddy Excite. Very Excite. Yeah, so I don't know if we told you guys last week, but we ordered, right before the stream last week, we actually ordered the enclosures. So the enclosures, I think, are taking about a 3-week turnaround. So another 2 weeks, we should have, hopefully, the enclosures for the task fams. So
Yeah.
that's going to be, I'm really super excited too. And I didn't tell you, I ordered a couple knobs for mine. Mine's actually just chilling over here. Proto Baggins.
I was just gonna say it. Proto Baggins.
I ordered a couple, just like the knobs I kind of had on here for my other pedal. Oh, probably shouldn't have changed that. Oh.
Yeah, we'll find it again.
But yeah, so get ready.
Rhodes Fan Preamp. Actually, David, I just sprayed the primer on the enclosure for that thing, so we're getting there.
Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, so I'm really excited. Jay said you're not supposed to taste from your own supply, but I kind of want one of the.
Get high off your own supply.
I kind of want one of the enclosure ones, you know?
I mean, we got extras. Why don't you just take the first blemish one?
Yeah, I'll take the first blemish one.
I'm sure there'll be some. I'm sure there will be some. Yeah, David, I'm only building one of those,
Thanks,
and
Jeff.
with any luck, that's going to you. If you decide you don't want it, then it will be going
Rhodes
to
Fan
whoever
Preamp.
the next
Wow,
candidate is.
two guys buying that one from you. So you gotta make 3. It sounds like.
No, I'm making
David doesn't
one.
want one.
I'm making one, and then we'll see. But all the parts are in stock at this point, and the enclosure is machined and primed.
Cool, man.
So we'll get some paint on that maybe next week and get doing
Okay.
all the final assemblies.
He decided that he gets it, so.
We'll see what happens after. I don't want to commit to building a whole bunch of those because it's not cheap to build them. You know, the fucking box by itself's like $30. It's ridiculous.
Matt, the enclosures are going to be screened, so they're going to be painted.
They're not painted. They're powder coated white, and then they're screen printed.
Okay.
So yeah, as legit and clean as you could ever ask for something.
Wait, powder coat's not technically paint?
It is not.
Oh.
You apply a negative charge to the enclosure. You spray it with a positively charged or vice versa powder.
Oh,
and then it goes into an oven and it's baked at high temperature to set that powder.
So it's for future reference. If anybody asks, it's powder coated and screened.
Silk screened or screen printed.
So silk screen's not okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's not like hand painted, but yeah.
What do you mean hand painted? What the fuck is that?
It's not hand painted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you saying hand?
It's from 30 Rock. I've been watching 30 Rock. Yeah. It's like a joke from 30 Rock.
Okay. I don't know that.
Cool, man.
That's weird. Yeah.
Powder coating last.
Powder coating is one of the toughest coating finishes you could get. So yeah, that's the way to go.
The Rhodes needs a strong amp, so it's just not satisfying without a good preamp. What amps are you supposed to play those through? Like a Fender Twin, right?
Yeah. That Rhodes preamp, you really could run anything you want through. I mean, it's a high Z input instrument level setup, just like a Fender. So anything that would sound good through a Fender Twin or whatever would work fine through this thing. You could do vocals with it with a if you had like a high Z mic or an adapter, you certainly could. It's like Rhino lining the damn thing. Yeah, I mean, sorta. It's the idea is that finish is. I mean, you know how pedals go. You drop them or you drop shit on them and they chip, and that's sort of universal, paint or powder. But powder coat is the most resistant finish you could get, and you know that's the professional way to do that. Short of like covering them in some kind of fuzzy fabric or whatever, like that's the most scratch and dent resistant way.
Yeah,
But
they're gonna be legit. They're gonna be legit, man.
rhino lining would be tough as fucking nails though. You'd be hard to do anything bad to that.
Cool. I'm excited to check this Rhodes preamp too. Maybe we could do a quick little vid on it before we send it out.
Seems like everybody wants videos of my Lucky Charms, man.
What do you mean?
Gotta draw me something inside the back plate. I draw stick figures with penises on them real good. Does that help you at all? That's the kind of things I draw. Terrible shit.
Be careful what you wish for, Matt.
Yeah. That's the plan, is the videos. Yeah. Yeah.
What other Lucky Charms people want videos of?
Oh, I don't know.
Isn't your brother a good Rhodes player?
My brother had a Rhodes for a long time. He studied music at Berkeley and shit, so he's a pretty talented all-around musician, I guess.
Yeah, he's great, man.
Bass and bass was his main instrument, but he's real good at keys too.
I remember I was sitting in on one of the sessions he did at our farm, and I was like, Dave, like this goes. It was like a key player, a
Yeah.
drummer, and a guitar player, singer. I was like, Dave, man, this thing could really use bass. He's like, yeah, I know. He's like, he's gonna just like, I'm sure he just like one taked it.
Oh, I'm
like,
sure
at
he
the
probably
end.
did.
It was
Yeah,
just
when
so
everybody,
funny. I was like,
he probably
I was
did it
like,
after
dude.
everybody left.
You know, I was just like sitting there hanging out. I was like, dude, I'm like, go play bass. He's like, don't worry, I got it. It's like fucking
Yeah.
hilarious.
His rig used to always be connected and turned on, and then when the band would go to dinner break or whatever, he would just do it, and then when they came back, it would be there.
Yeah. It'd be really nice to do a music video with the Rhodes preamp. Let's do it.
Yeah, Jeb, the last.
That's Matt's suggestion, by the way. You better screenshot.
I
that.
saw it.
Okay.
I saw it. I shouldn't have said anything. David, yeah, we
It's
could.
getting,
I mean,
that time of the night.
that Rhodes preamp, we'll do some kind of video with. I'll force Mike to do the shooting and editing so it actually looks good.
Let's
and,
do it. Hell yeah.
Comes together in the right way. But
I think it would just be a cool video to
Jeb-
make. I mean, I'm just passionate about making the vids. So
Jeb, that deal with that Zulu thing, like that was probably 2 years ago, or maybe a little less. They hadn't gone to market yet when all that happened. Obviously, they were still working on how they were going to mass produce those and who was going to do it. And I'm basically over it. I just try to make sure that nobody I know ever buys one of those fucking things, because you're getting ripped off. You know, even paying overpriced Radio Shack prices for what's inside that box, you could build that piece of shit for, 15, 20 bucks.
that's crazy.
So, and the thing that they call their Zulu op amp is just a bunch of bullshit, epoxy potted, so you can't X-ray it. So, just be smart about what you spend your money on.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, honestly, yeah, like $700 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god.
So maybe that's going inside all of them at this point. I don't know. At least two of them.
Oh man. I'm gonna call that Rhodes preamp the big wood, and then like up around the tubes it'll just be a guy standing there with a giant fucking boner. That's great.
Look, why is it called the Big Wood? I don't get it. You're not a sucker, Jeb.
Nah, you're not a sucker. A lot of people, I see pictures of that fucking box on like production and recording desks and shit and tape op all the time. Fucking pisses me off because those people have no idea what they wasted their money on. Um, yeah, but hey, I mean, if you want like 9 dB insertion loss with no available makeup and you want to spend $700 on a handful of bullshit parts, and it's on you. Whatever. And if you think it sounds good, go for it. I mean, I used to play with that thing in the one guy's.
Well, I guess if people see it and it gets them to where they want to get to,
whatever,
more
man.
power to them, right?
Whatever. I don't like seeing people.
But yeah,
get
knowing the
fucking
backstory
duped,
about it, and then like I forget how we started talking about it.
I don't know.
But like when you first told me about it, yeah, it's like I don't know.
But that when I played with several of the different stages of prototypes, and the one guy who runs that company's little home studio, I used to do tech work for him until that Zulu project happened.
Wait a second. Jeb said I saw Hank Shockley with one. Big Public Enemy man from my childhood.
Yeah, they basically emailed anybody they could get a hold of right after the first run was built and tried to stuff them in everybody's pocket. Yeah.
There's this guy BK Butler. He makes tube drivers by hand on custom orders. He's pretty successful at $250 a pop.
Yeah, BK Butler's been around for fucking ever. There's a bunch of different versions too. There's black ones and blue ones. I think there's a red and white one.
Matt, every task force member should open their pedal and see what Easter egg is drawn inside.
I invite you wholeheartedly to open those pedals when you get them. Whether they have something fancy drawn inside or not will be yours to find out. But, who knows what might be in there.
Ooh, mysterious.
I might epoxy like quarters to the base of your thing just so you spend the rest of your time thinking about how there's a quarter in there and you can't physically pick that off. Damn it. But yeah. And David, on the preamp, I have a front layout that's like a printed out, just a basic controls label that will be the front of it, just so you know what each control does. Real simple. It's this inkjet UV and waterproof paper. It's what Debbie Ever used to use to put
I've seen the BK. Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Labels and shit on top of her boxes back when, before screen printing. Oh, you want me to write on it too? Sign it? Yeah.
Have you ever used this BK Butler tube driver?
Yeah, I have. There actually used to be a rack mount one too. A friend of mine still has one.
I've seen this.
And actually, it looks like it gives you the schematic for it, which is interesting. Scroll. Oh no, what the fuck is that? Oh, it's a block diagram.
Driver Rev 2.
Yeah.
Needed the second revision.
So it's like kind of like a starter plate too. Again. Oh no, what does that say?
Power.
No, this is the power supply. What's that? What does that say right there?
11.5.
That's it?
Oh no, 1K5.
No, not the value. See that little dot? Those dots, that one and that one. What's the number above it?
V plus and V plus plus.
So that doesn't tell you anything.
10K 470.
Yeah, that doesn't tell you anything though. You need to know I'm just curious what voltage he's using. But anyway. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Gluing the $50 to the floor. I've seen it like there's a gas station in a town sort of out in the middle of cow country between, well, I guess it's not really between anything, out in Accord. And there's been a quarter glued to the counter in that gas station like since I can remember. And I've been to that gas station probably 100 times since I was a kid. And it's always there.
Thanks, David. Yeah, I think it is going to be a pretty great achievement when we get those together. It's already been like a great experience, and thank you guys everybody for help kickstarting that.
For
It's
sure.
so cool that we're able to share that
We
with
couldn't
everybody.
have, nor would we ever have produced even
Yeah.
more than that prototype probably without
Yeah.
your
There's no way.
support and interest.
That's something I think we've touched upon before in here too. It's like there's no way we would have been able to do that, even locally. Like
Yeah, no,
there's no
it's
interest.
too much overhead.
Yeah.
Too much overhead, not enough interest.
Yeah.
I'm not a marketing guy. I don't intend to start a business that way. So.
Yeah, but you know what would be another great achievement? Calling that guy in Tarrytown. All right, I guess that's.
He's just gonna keep playing
Yeah.
like this. Just harping right
Yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Harping right on it.
All right, David. We'll give him a call. We'll see what's up.
Call him up, man.
Matt's donating some goodies. Thanks, Matt. I'm excited to see what those are going to be.
Yeah.
I was actually using the 424 you sent at Hapro's the other day, so thank you. Actually, Jay and I were actually looking at the power supply before. Yo, by the way, Matt, where did you get the power supply for that one? That just come with
eBay,
it?
I bet.
I'm just curious. Like, it's obviously it's not the original one, right?
No.
I was
Seriously
surprised.
doubt
Like,
that.
yeah, we were taking. I mean, it works with it. I actually got my transformer for the power supply, and I also have some DIN plugs coming. So pretty soon, I'm going to make my
Nice.
own
There you go.
Tascam 424 Mark
There you
III
go.
power supply, because that's actually, believe it or not, one of the most popular searched items when you search for.
It's because they used a
Tascams.
fucking DIN plug.
But it's like people lose them, and then you
Yeah.
know. So I'm going to see if I can make my own. There's a couple of people,
You
YouTubers
definitely
that
can
have
make
made
your
them,
own.
and just see what happens with that,
Yeah.
because that could be fun.
So we're at 9 o'clock now.
Yeah, so we're wrapping it, guys. I hope we got it to everybody's questions. Power supply came with it. Someone before me replaced it. Mine doesn't work too well. Oh, the BK Butler.
Yeah, yeah.
So I will call the guy in Tarrytown
fucking
and find
bleeding.
out what's up. What happened?
I'm bleeding. I don't know.
Capro get you?
No, I must have flicked
No,
something
he
off
hasn't
my
been-
face.
Huh.
Got whacked in the face with gravel.
Oh shit!
Weed whacking.
It
I
just
got
like
little
cut you
fucking-
up.
Yeah, I mean my legs are all fucking cut up too. Same. Don't weed whack in shorts.
Cool, Matt. So, all right, yeah, I was just curious. I mean, it works with it. I think I'm gonna actually replace the DIN plug on that one too, and do a little replacement on that.
All right, David.
Um,
So we'll talk to you again soon about that Rhodes preamp, but I'm slowly making progress on that. I'm
Cool.
gonna figure it out. And now that we're 9 o'clock,
Yeah, we're calling it, guys.
We're gonna
we
close
gotta try
down.
to stick to the schedule.
and
But you can get a Model 80 calorie. It's gonna be a hell of a
yeah,
yeah. I'll link it real quick. All right. So guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
make sure you do something you want to do
Yeah.
today, tomorrow, every day. Like, subscribe,
Hell yeah.
join the forum. All you guys are on the forum
Yeah,
already.
everybody's
but
already
join
on
the
there.
forum. Email him, email
yeah.
me, email us,
Yeah,
email
yeah,
we,
yeah, yeah.
email each other.
We touched upon a lot of heavy stuff tonight, but
Help old ladies cross the road
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
shit. And yeah,
chew
keep
your
the-
food well. Yep.
and keep those tapes turning.
Yeah, that's right. Keep recording something awesome, doing something you want to do, and we'll catch you on the flip flop.
Thanks, Jeb. Everybody
Thanks,
have
Jeb.
a great
Thanks
rest
for
of your
coming
week.
through, Jeb. Yeah.
Great weekend. And we'll see you
Bye.
next week. Same bat time, same bat location, channel, placement.
Cool.
And,
All right, guys. And yeah, I don't understand that one. Yeah, change. I'll buy. Hey, Julian. All right, we'll see you later.
All right.
Thanks for joining us,
And if
Julian.
you guys, if anybody wants patches, just hit me up either through the forum.
You well.
Peace out.
Do you?
Do somebody.